What's going on, guys? Jim the Game Guru, and today I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys some Star Realms Frontiers. I'm gonna do there you go, Star Realms Frontiers, a really cool deck building game. This is one of the first deck building games that I learned to play, and it's actually really simple to learn. It's great if you want to start getting into deck building and learning. There's so many different deck building games out there. This is one of the easiest, along with Ascension is actually really easy to learn too. But I'm gonna go over some gameplay, do a quick 2-player 1v1 scenario. And if you guys are new to this channel, please subscribe. I do have a giveaway going on right now where you can win a free Nintendo Switch title or a board game. This is actually one of the games that are in the giveaway. And so I figured, maybe this is not so popular. I don't know, or maybe it is. And so give it a quick rundown how the game is played, so you guys can see how one of the prizes actually works when you play it. But the base package here, Star Realms, is good for 2 to 4 players. And if you add more copies of the game, or even other copies of other versions of the game, then you can go to like 6 people, 8 people, or whatever. So I'm gonna tear into this and show you guys how it works. All right, let's dig into some 2-player 1v1 action. This is the mode I think that Star Realms really shines. If anytime you're playing a deck builder with more than 2 people and it's beyond a 1v1, it becomes a little bit of like a free-for-all, in which case you really can't, like, one person really can't beat the other person based on true skill. But 1v1 is where it's at, usually in Star Realms. There are a lot of modes in this game, which I absolutely love. They put in Star Realms Frontier, they put so many modes and so many game in the package that there's so many different things you can play. So like one thing is they include these boss cards, and you see like this is like automations, a boss, the blob assault, dimensional horror, madness of the machine. So you can play this solo. So one mode is playing this solo, defy the empire, all these cool bosses. These bosses, they range from some bosses being super easy and some bosses being really, really difficult. But that is a solo mode. So if you don't want to play against another human, you can play solo mode and go against the boss. There is the regular Star Realms where it's kind of like a free-for-all or 1v1. Then there's modes where you can play, it's called Hydra, where you can have a couple people on one team and another couple people on another team, and you guys share your health pool, etc., and you battle against the other team. Then there's one, I think it's called Commander. Let me see, I think it's in the instructions here. This is actually it gives you a pretty beefy instruction manual for such a simple game. I mean, this game is, a lot of it is based on, they have like a lot of boss pages, explain the bosses and explain like the modes of play. Emperor, it's called Emperor. There's a mode called Emperor. I've never played that because you need 6 people. And what you do is you have one person as your Emperor in the middle, and then you have your 2 people that sit on the side, and they're kind of like your flank members, and you guys all play as a team. Okay, so I'm gonna go with a simple 1v1. So what happens is in Star Realms, you shuffle the deck, and this becomes like your market deck. And what you do is you flip over 5 cards. This is known as the market that you can buy things from. You do have a deck that you start off with that has 10 cards, and 8 of them are scouts, which give you money, and 2 of them are vipers, which give you combat damage. You do also have health trackers. So right now we're gonna be playing with 50 health on this one. This person starts with 50. This person starts with 50. Each player has their own deck, obviously, and then you draw 5 cards, right? And you'll see why they call this a deck builder. So you draw 5 cards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, this person here. All right, up here you have something called Explorer Ships, and Explorer Ships, what they do is they give you 2 gold, and they only cost 2 gold to buy. These are a pretty decent card to get when you don't have enough money to buy stuff in the middle. Typically, they're not the go-to, but sometimes they're good to get if you need a quick flux of cash. just kind of get that cash going, and then you can actually scrap them later on for damage. So there's 3 things in this game that each player will have: combat pool damage, gold, and then health pool. The health pool is tracked by these cards. The combat damage is generated by the cards that you buy here in the middle, or any of the cards you have in your deck. And then the gold is also generated by the cards you buy in that you have in your deck. We're gonna have this person right here. We're gonna have gold start first. So in his hand, we're gonna have 5 scouts. So he drops 5 scouts. The one thing in this game to understand, and actually in most deck building games to understand, is that these starter cards you get are absolute total trash. And eventually later on, what you want to do is you want to find a way to siphon these cards out of your deck to then play the beefier cards that you end up buying in the market. So this person has 5. So let's go ahead and pick up. We're gonna pick up a Frontier Runner. So Frontier Runner, just really quick, gives you 2 gold and 2 life. And right there you can kind of see 2 gold, 2 life. That goes immediately to your discard pile. The next card flips over. Get a Frontier Hawk. So what? I had 5 gold. I spent 1 on that. I still have 4 gold left. I'm gonna go ahead and do a Frontier Hawk, which gives you 3 damage. Right there, 3 damage, and draw a card, then discard a card. Okay. So I still have 3 gold left. Now I am playing with another add-on in this deck, which is called Events, and but I'm gonna show you kind of events and what they do. So events are like random things that can happen every time you draw them, and then these will actually go to the trash pile in the market. But this one says the player currently taking their turn gains 4 gold and may put the next ship they acquire this turn on top of their deck. Each other player draws 2 cards. So the event deck is actually the event add-on to Star Realms. I really enjoy it. I think it gives a bit of a variety to the game because random things kind of happen. But for this simulated test, I'm going to ignore any event cards that I draw just so I can kind of explain the base game. All right, so another Trade Federation. I've already got 1 Trade Federation. So there's 4 factions this game. 1 is being Blob. Blob is the green. These guys are heavy attack. Like, they are nothing but attack for the most part. Then you have Star Empire, which is yellow. These guys will do they do kind of a variety of things. Most of the time they do drawing of cards and discarding of cards from people, and they also do some damage. Trade Federation, which is blue, these guys usually give you gold and life to regenerate your life points. And then there's red, which I haven't drawn yet, and red is Machine Cult, and Machine Cult does a lot of scrapping out of your deck. It is the faction that will get rid of all them garbage cards out of your deck. So it's good. I think red is one of those factions that you always want a splash of in every game that you play. So I am going to now, what do I have? 3 left. And then we'll do this. We'll do the light cruiser. It's 4 damage and target opponent discards a card. Okay. There we go. Next one flips over. I am all out of money. I spent all my money. These all go to the discard pile. There you go. And then I draw the next 5 into my hand. So the next 5 in his hand. Now this person here over here, red, is going to go now. And I have their cards up here. So they're going to go ahead and lay down a Viper, which does 1 damage. This is probably the most garbage card in your deck when you start off. So Vipers are good to get rid of early. And then he's got 4 gold from his scouts. So I'm gonna have gold. So the yellow player over here has nothing to defend themselves. So there is 1 card besides these ships, 1 type of card besides these ships that are out that actually can defend you, and those are bases. So you have ships in this game and you have bases. Bases will stay out in play unless an opponent uses their combat damage to destroy a base. Some bases are like shields. They have to be destroyed before you can do any damage to a player. And then some bases you don't need to damage. You can go straight for the player. But you may want to kill them because those bases are always out there and giving the player bonuses. So this guy goes to 49. So I'm going to flip this over. And the nice thing is they give you these cards that kind of track the health. So now it's 40 plus a 9-banger. So 49. And then as you get dinged, you just keep lowering it. These cards will actually allow you to go all the way up to 80. So that is done. So now I have 4 gold here. Let's see, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna do the long hauler because it gives you 3 gold and then another 2 if you have ally abilities. Okay, so let's take a look at these cards here and see what this does. So here, as you see, there's like a little blue symbol down here. What that means is anytime you play this blue card with another blue card out in play on the same turn, you will trigger this ally ability. And the ally ability, so this card will give you 3 gold plus another 2 gold if another blue card is played. So what is this little trash can symbol here? So what's really nice about Star Realms is that they have a lot of cards that will have self-scrapping. And what you can do is I could scrap this card to put the next base you acquire this turn on top of your deck, which means this card gets eliminated out of the game. It's gone. Not in my deck anymore. I can never use it again. And then it will trigger the ability for the scrapping. There are a lot of deck building games out there that don't have self-scrapping, and like Ascension is one of them. A lot of the sets in Ascension don't have self-scrap, so you're kind of at the mercy of the luck in the RNG with shuffling your deck, and the RNG when you shuffle the market. But the one thing that Star Realms gives you is that self-scrapping in a lot of cards, not all the cards. In a lot of cards, they'll give you that self-scrapping to kind of control and, how much aggression you want to use on the field and how you get rid of cards later on to kind of control the type of cards you're going to have in your deck. So here we go again. We're going to go ahead and now yellow's going to go. See, the first time they had 5 scouts. This time they only have 3 scouts because both Vipers showed up in this hand. So 2 damage. There's nothing over here for red to block. So they will go down to 48. So red goes down to 48. As you can see right now, this is a very, very aggressive style game. So if you're the type of person that does not like conflict at all, then Star Realms may not be the game for you because it's very conflict heavy. It's a lot of attacking the opponent. So we got 3 scouts now, and I know I already have what? I have blue and yellow in here. So if I do a little bit of green, it's going to be kind of weird. Let's do, but even though this green right here is awesome because it gives you 6 damage. Boom, right on the spot. So I'm going to do the orbital shuttle. Why not? That'll be 2 gold. The next deck from the market flips. So this orbital shuttle will give you 3 gold. And if you have 2 or more bases in play, gain 4 life and draw a card, which is kind of cool. What else we got? And then we got a machine cult card. Finally, this is red. This one does not have scrapping. Oh no, right there. You may scrap or a card in your discard pile. So this is, like I said before, with machine cult. This is the way you get rid of cards from your deck, the garbage cards. So that's perfect. I got a red now in there. So let me flip this next one. It's a stinger, which is 3 and 3 and 1. So these cards go into my discard. And now you can see I have no more draw pile, right? And what you do in a deck builder is you shuffle. I'm just going to do a pretty shitty shuffle. A quick shuffle because for the interest of time here. So what you do is you just shuffle your discard pile once you have no more draw. And then you draw the number of cards you need to get back up to 5 cards in your hand. Sometimes there will be times where you only have 3 cards in your draw pile, and you have to shuffle your discard pile to get another 2. So now red goes, and then they're gonna go ahead and play 1, 2, 3, 4 scouts. They have 1 combat damage in their pool from the Viper, so they're gonna ding yellow over here. Yellow goes down to 48. And now they have 4 gold, and I think they only bought a blue last time, right? So you can see yellow right now over here has a crap ton more cards in their deck so far that are beyond the normal cards. So what? So this guy did a blue. This guy's gonna do. I think this guy is gonna go blue and green. Okay. And then an Enforcer mech comes up with 5 gold, but I can't buy that. That's actually pretty cool. 5 gold, and then you get 5 damage. You may scrap a card in your hand or discard pile. Ooh, and the ally ability for this, if you have another red card out, is to destroy a target base. That is awesome. We're going to do a Stinger too, because that should deplete the money that I have. Now the next card flips over. And it's another Stinger. Wow, a lot of Stingers out in play. Okay, so now this person has to shuffle their deck again, because guess what? They've got no draw pile. No draw pile means shuffle, shuffle. There you go. Shuffle, shuffle. And then this person draws up to 5 cards again. Okay, over here, yellow is going to go. This time they're going to drop 2 Vipers, right, for 2 damage. They have only 2 Scouts, so 2 gold. But the orbital shuttle that I bought earlier has now come into my hand. So this gives me an additional 3. So now he's got 5 gold, 2 damage. So now red drops all the way down to 46 in their meter, in their life meter. So these go into the discard pile, and then now you have 5 gold to play with. Oh, I'm gonna go for the Enforcer mech because that thing was killer. Okay, so now the Hive Queen comes out with 7, which is absolutely godly. This one is, look, it's 7 gold, but it does 7 damage. You draw a card, and look at the ally abilities. If you have 1 green card out along with this, you get 3 more damage, and if you have 2 green card out in play, you get an additional 3. So this can do a total of 13 damage by itself if you have 2 other green cards in play, which is pretty sick. Okay, so we're gonna go here. Oh wow. I'm gonna hit yellow for a lot. So I got a Crusher and a Stinger on this one. Okay, so I got 3 Scouts, which I'm gonna drop, and then that's gonna give me 3 gold. Now, one thing to keep in mind in deck building games, the order that you drop your cards, it matters. So don't get a hand like this and go, because that is not wise. Because the order that you play the cards matters, because sometimes there's combos that you're gonna find that you can only execute if you drop the cards in a certain order. Okay, so here we go. And that goes for this game, and it goes for games like Ascension, especially Ascension. So 3 gold, and then boom, here we go. We got a Crusher that's gonna give 6 gold, 6 damage, and 3 damage for the Stinger, and then another 3 damage because it's an ally ability for having another green card out. So it's 6, 9, 12 points of damage. And the Crusher has also an ally ability that give you 2 gold if you have another green out. So it's 13 points of damage, or is it 13? No, I said 12, right? So he goes from 48 to 30, was that 36? So I'm going to flip this over to 30. And there we go, 36 damage. That's how we keep track of the 36 life, sorry. So I just hit yellow really hard on that one. 5 gold. I don't have enough to get the Hive Queen. That would be super awesome if I can get the Hive Queen. So what am I going to do here? Well, I'm going to spend 1 to get another Stinger. I'm going to load up on that. Here's an event card, but I'm going to, like I said before, I'm just going to put it in the garbage for now. Here is a base. This base is a Trade Federation base that gives you 3 damage, 4 gold, and 5 life every single turn. Now, this one is not a base that needs to be destroyed. It's just one. It does have 6 strength to it as far as health. It's kind of like the base has hit points, right? So this you need 6 points of damage in order to kill this base, and it's worth 8 gold to buy though. But this base is not one of the ones that are kind of like your shields. It is an optional base to target. But odds are, if this is out giving somebody 3 damage, 4 gold, and 5 life every turn, you're going to nuke this base. You're not gonna like to say, I'm just gonna leave it out and see what happens. Odds are you're gonna crush it. So that was worth 1. So I still have 4 left. I'm gonna go for the Moonworm Hatchling. Why not? It gives me 3 gold or destroy a target base. Hello. Thank you very much. Another event card, but I'm going to put that in the trash area because, like I said, I'm not doing that during this playthrough. And that is all my gold. These go into the discard pile. And then now yellow, the next 5 cards. And then they play, oh, yellow's got a crappy ass hand. They've only got 5 gold. So they're gonna go ahead and they can't even get this. They can't even stick to yellow and red and blue like they were going. So maybe they'll just pick up a stinger for some quick damage. That's 1. Oh, and there we go. Frontier Hawk. It's 2. We got 3 more gold left. Here's another event card, and 3 more gold left. I'll screw it. I'll just do an explorer. I still have 1 more gold left, but I don't have to spend it if I don't want to. So there you go. That goes into their deck, and then the cycle continues. Then the next person goes, and then they have 5 cards in their hand, right? And then red goes ahead and plays. So I'm gonna play long haul or scout. But anyway, so what you do is you go through and you purchase cards from the market, put them in your deck. You have 5 cards in your hand. And then there's cards that allow you to draw more cards into your hand. There's cards that force other people to discard. There's combos that you can do. The combos are what make this game. The combos are pretty awesome in this game, especially when you have a hand that dishes out like 35 points of damage. You're like, wow, and everything just works. There is quite a bit of luck in deck builders, though, unfortunately, because you're at the mercy of the RNG with your shuffling of your deck, as well as what comes up in the trade market. Sometimes you get stuck at the trade market where you have garbage. You can't buy a single damn thing. And then you buy a couple garbage cards, and then an OP'd card flips and lands for your opponent to buy on their turn. So sometimes, being at the mercy of that, it can be really, really annoying. Let me show you. Let me just dig in through here and show you a base that is. There you go. So here's the base integration port. That is one that has. It's an outpost based, and that one has 5 hit points on it. This is one of the ones that you have to kill before you can actually attack your opponent. It's not an optional kill on it. So the ones that have, all the bases that have these, like the silver shields, are optional to kill. You can just go for the player. But like I said earlier, some of these bigger bases that are optional bases also have crazy abilities, and why would you leave them out so your opponent gets stronger and stronger? But it's a fantastic game. I absolutely love Star Realms. It's a great game to pick up when you're learning deck building because it's so simple. You only have 3 things to keep track of: your damage points, your money, and your health. And there's so many different modes. So as you pick up more of these boxes of Star Realms boxes, you can actually add to the game and bring more players in. You can, like I said before, you can do Hydra, you can do a free for all, you can do the Emperor mode, you can even play solo. So if you want to play solo and go after one of these bosses right here, and maybe that's the best way to learn. If you're afraid of conflict and you don't want to dive into the conflict early into the game, and you want to learn the game before you actually battle somebody else, then maybe playing solo and learning the game that way first is the way to go, and then you can go ahead and do. They do have an Android app and they probably have an iOS app too. That is really solid, and that also will teach you how to play the game. So if you want to pick that up for like $5 or whatever it is, and learn the game that way, then you could also do that. But yeah, I highly recommend this game. This game is pretty sick. I have a lot of the add-ons. Later on, what happens is when you go into the game, you can get other add-ons like this. I think this is from like United. Yeah, this is from United, which gives you cards that will actually have, like this one right here has a red and yellow. So this is Star Empire and Machine Cult put together. So when you play this card and you add this to the market deck, and you end up buying these, this will actually count as a Star Empire Machine Cult card at the same time. There are bases that are like that too. And this one here right here is a Blob and Trade Federation put together. This pack pod. So there's like things like this. There's the event stuff that I told you about before. I love the event add-on because it makes randomization happen. So when you can actually flip a card and then some crazy event happens that causes damage to people or causes people to draw more cards or and have bigger hands. The reason why I like the event is because it gives a little bit of that randomness, so that even if you're getting crushed, you can have a good event come up that will help swing the tide in your favor, which is really awesome. What else do we got here? I want to show this other. Oh yeah, this other add-on, missions. So I have this other add-on called missions, and what happens is you can get these mission cards, and when you get these mission cards, if you end up solving the mission or completing the mission in your gameplay, like some of them have, like this one here, have at least 3 ships and or bases of the same faction in play during your turn. So and then you get a reward. So when you solve these missions, you can get rewards, and some rewards are like damage and draw a card. Some of them are like getting life or gold or whatever. Some of them are, draw 2 cards. But yeah, so if you wanted like missions, the missions pack, you can get that and add it in there for extra variety. There's also another series called Gambit, and when you put that in, each player can get like 1 or 2 abilities to start off the game, and they have that ability throughout the game, and they can use it whenever they want. But yeah, this is Star Realms Frontier. It is a deck building, space themed combat game that you go back and forth. It's very aggressive. It's very competitive. That you battle against other people and try to get their life points down to 0. Awesome game. Highly recommend it. But anyway, guys, I am out of here. See y'all later.